All right, today I'm going to go over my thoughts and opinions, a little review about the Steampunk series by Joe Kelly, Chris Bachalo, and of course, inking wizard Richard Friend. So let me go ahead and flip this. There we go. All right, so I do have all the floppies of these, but I didn't really feel like digging them out. I have thousands and thousands of floppy comics. This is the collected editions. This one's pretty easy to find. This guy here, not so much. Volume 2 is pretty tough to find, so good luck with that. These are older releases back when Cliffhanger was a thing. Cliffhanger was an old imprint. Some more of the manga angled artists kind of formed this imprint. It was like J. Scott Campbell, Humberto Ramos, um, Joe Mad, and then of course Chris Bachalo here. And then I don't recall who else. I mean, there was some different offerings from them. So I'll just go through these real quick. This is volume 1, so I think this is issues 1 through 6, perhaps. And there is a couple preview editions in these as well. The nice thing about this one here, it does have the San Diego Comic Con had a short preview or a short story, Catechism, something like that, and then there was some other book that was a one shot. So I believe that both of those are in here. But anyways, yeah, I'll just get to it. Yeah, if you're an aspiring artist, I mean, I always recommend this is one of the few series that Bachalo has worked on that I actually recommend. Just because from the aspects from design, page design, there are aspects of it that are kind of hard to follow. I feel like, and sometimes the anatomy, I don't know, some stuff can be a little bit wonky, but it works. It's like if 75% of what you're producing in the book works, you can get away with that 25%, swimming upstream. So, yeah. Anyhow, yeah, so this was the Catechism book. This was a one shot, I believe. I remember buying it way back in the day. So I'm not going to go over story. This is purely just for the artistic value of these books. It's got some cool shots, some cool zooming in, crazy detail on the hands of the clock, the flying clock creature thing there. Little demon cat. Yeah, the colors in this did a good job of not being overpowering. I feel like, which they sometimes can be. I think Liquid colored. Who colored this? Was it Liquid? No, it was not. It was colored by Badass and James Rochelle. So okay, has a little bit of a liquid feel to it. Not so many hot spots as Liquid, but the eyeball, like that eyeball there, like totally screams um, what Liquid was doing at the time. So yeah, you get some interesting characters they bring in here. This is just insanity right here. Lots of time spent. Lots of time spent. And the only time this sort of stuff is fast to draw is when you're just doing it, right on the spot, like on a whim. Um, uh, I highly doubt that all of these details that Bachalo threw in right here. A lot of weird little things, like a skull, melted candles, things like that. I don't think that they're specifically called for by the writer Joe Kelly. Let's see here. All right, so we get to it. Yeah, you get some cool designs. This crusty character here, and of course, this whole book is basically this whole series was just uh, was a laboratory, for Chris and also for Rich Friend. I feel like there's a lot of different um, uh, inking techniques explored here on the knuckles. There's also different techniques right here with some of the grass and stuff. Um, yeah, and I'm pretty sure a lot of this is Rich. It's not all just Bachalo, drawing what he wants. Rich is really good with the texturing and all that stuff, making stuff crusty, like the angles on this hat, on the outlines and stuff. So yeah, this is a fun book. Again, this isn't this is not something I really recommend for like readers. Um, the story was just sort of I almost feel like the story was built around the art. Like it was just most of this book to me felt like it was Bachalo bench pressing, showing you what he could do with different stuff, with designs and layouts and characters and everything else. And then yeah, and then of course Rich Friend with his inks was just insane on this. A little bit of like he was pulling out all stuff. You got some Zipatone stuff going on right here. Um, yeah, it's just a super fun book. I think there was a splash before this that I really like. Yeah, right here. This is really cool because it kind of breaks the mold of these 20 panel pages. So this is a pretty cool presentation of this new character here. Um, yeah, some cool action stuff. Some of it is a little hard to follow. Some of these things where there's something indicated here in the middle, but it doesn't really indicate exactly what like occurred. It's just him being creative. So when you're I think at the time, like when this came out, Baco was obviously already established on X-Men, on Death, on I think Witching Hour was before this. So you can get away with stuff. Uh, when you become a name in the mainstream, you get away with a lot of stuff. So I always like this shot right here. It's a pretty cool shot. Um, yeah. So I'll just flip through this here. Some of these things just seem sort of out of place too. I think it's because everything is so. He's in overdrive on all the detail, the backgrounds, the grit, the tech stuff, the steampunk elements, the crazy panels. Even the outlines of the panels are like rusty pipes, and all of a sudden you get this very super clean piece of work here. That piece always felt um, a little out of element. And then it's back to the standard, monsters, craziness. It's pretty cool. This is actually this is a crazy zoomed in of this panel, so that can kind of show you a lot of the work that goes into this. And this thing was probably, I'd say, maybe only 8 inches by maybe like 6 of work, and that. So this is probably pretty close to true size right here on the 1117, I would guess. So yeah, and again, not commenting on the story on this much. You know, I really don't want to review the story on this. Originally, when I first read through them, it just I was like, well, I got it for the art, I guess. Yeah, this is a super cool shot right here too. Really like these weird monsters and stuff that Bachalo comes up with. They're fun. I've for years tried to pinpoint what he was kind of looking at or thinking of uh, for reference material on these, and I've never been able to pinpoint that. A lot of piratey sort of stuff. The steampunk element is there with some of the aesthetics, but not with the overall like story. I don't feel like this feels very like English, like England. Heavy metal UK versus like United States elements of steampunk. I feel like United States has a lot more like brass influence. Um, this here feels more like UK industrial to me. Might just be the colors too. But anyways, all right, I'm gonna crank through this one. Let's see if there's anything here in the back. Final page, very cool. It's funny how much the blue stands out because there's really not a whole lot of blue used in this book at all. In any of these books. Again, this is like, I think the first 6 issues. So got some character design sketches here. Let's see, you got the Idiosyncratica? Okay. So I think this here was what was presented at San Diego, and I have that as well. Yeah, so it's a little bit of script, a little bit of preview panels in pencil. Yeah, some different character designs. Really just a preview, exactly what a preview should be. And then they had variant covers for issue 1. So you had a J. Scott, um, Jeff Campbell variant. You had a Ramos, which is oddly enough, this does not look like a Ramos face to me, but it is. So Umberto Ramos cover, and then the Joe Mad cover here, inked by Sandra Hope, who did a really good job on this here. Let's see. All right, so that's it for that one there. That's for volume 1. And then volume 2, I'm going to actually jump the gun to show you. So volume 2, in case you already have all this material, you're thinking about it, there is no bonus material in the back of 2. It's literally just the wrap up of the series. It ran for a year. There was like 12 issues, if I remember right. 12 issues plus, the catechism, and then, of course, the preview, the San Diego, which is in this one. And this one's a lot easier to find, right? So, yeah, if you can figure out how to find, 7 through 12 or, 6 through 12 or whatnot, you can just grab this first trade here and, it'll complete the whole thing. Issue 1 did also have a chromium wraparound cover, which was very cool. And that's the one that I picked up when I was buying all the floppies month by month as they were coming out. So, yeah. All right. So part 2, again, goes right back to Bachalo doing his design warehouse thing. Insane detail, cool layouts. They flow pretty well, but again, there's a lot of things about this that they kind of go against my brain's natural flow of the whole Z formation of exiting a page. They don't always flow that way. I think the letter was kind of doing what they could with these, but oversaturation of panels, like this probably could have been told over a 2-page spread with half the panels and would have been more legible, I guess. But um, we get all this cool art, so yeah. So this was fun. Another cool splasher. I love this splash as well. Always really really like this piece. Kind of a wonky angle. Like my eyeball keeps having trouble right here, but I think it's a forced perspective. I think it's coming at you with her lane because the elbow's protruding forward. So I think it's just because some of the heavy shadows here, and then it's so open right here, and your eyeball kind of jumps around these different areas. But the face this is a badass face. I really like the way he drew that face. So yeah, cool coloring. This is a cool progressive shot here. Um, I don't I don't know. I feel like the colors kind of dropped the ball here with this, at least. This here feels like it's the same distance as this. It's all warm hues. There's nothing to separate this from everything going on behind it, but is what it is. And these are interesting too. So he started drawing these like crazy, this thing coming across here, right through here, and then you have this piece here with the. It's this stuff like breaking the fourth wall of these pages. So yeah, another cool design. I don't think he was really explored that much, but I really dig his jacket and stuff. Yeah, so again, pretty dense. The middle of this book is super dense, tons of panels, lots and lots of headshots, minimal, crazy, super exaggerated storytelling going on in here. But he does enough to push stuff back, pull stuff forward, where it reads okay. But again, there's some pages where it just my eyeballs have to sit on something for a bit to kind of figure out what's going on. This is very cool. I've always liked these. This giant doom where he's got him kind of breaking the sound effect, and within the sound effect letters, this stuff is going on. I think he did some stuff like that in the second Death series. I think another cool character resembles Death a little bit. So yeah, uh, again, this is a book that you can study and probably pull, a dozen different ways to draw something that maybe you battle with. Like maybe you don't really know like a cool, exciting way to draw like bricks or wood, or maybe some close-ups on eyes, different ways of drawing, faces talking, stuff like that in panels. These absolutely have that. And then on the inking side, there's a lot of things that you get to see where Rich really got to push different line weights, and like it was a cool mixture. Like he was able to get really like crusty and chunky on a lot of this stuff because of the texture aspect of what it's made of, and then also push the same boundaries on other things in the foreground, which may or may not have been Bachalo, um, just kind of being like, hey, just run with it, do what you want, or maybe he was super controlling with it and knew exactly what he wanted to happen there. This is another example where they took the small panel here and they blew it up here. I think that because it was an odd page count and they needed this even numbered page here, so um, yeah, they took that and blew it up and it became a page here. But this is actually this panel. Still looks really nice. Most of the time when they do that, it looks super crappy. Looks really bad because you can just see, either pixelation or whatnot. This is kind of fun right here. I feel like Bachalo used to play with a lot of like toy cars or micro machines at some point, because a lot of his stuff has that super, that super squashed feeling to it, like this stuff. This is a cool page here. Um, yeah, so visually, if you're going through these books here, the whole series, like as a whole, like chronologically, I feel like you're not gonna really leave that experience knowing exactly what you just looked at, because it's a lot of pretty cool, like different things going on. But it's all just a page for page expression of what he wanted to do. Story wise, though, again, this is not. I don't know. This is something that really is just. There's a lot of sizzle in this book. There's a lot of cool things. This crazy thick outline is insane, but it just works. Yeah. So, like, if you're an artist, I would say definitely look into this run of books. This is super cool right here. I wish he did more of this prior to this. Um, Super cool. If you're a reader looking for something new to read that's fun, and you're not going to care if it doesn't really follow formulaic storytelling, this I would recommend this to as well. If you're someone that likes traditional comic storytelling, easy to follow, not a lot of stuff left up for interpretation or maybe holes, skip this. But visually, yeah, man, it's a good series for design. It's a great series for design. There's lots that you can mine from this run of books, and just kind of take and make your own, I guess, different aspects of it. So yeah, and it's got great inks. Like I can look at this stuff all day. Some of these fades and some of the stuff that Rich Friend decided to do with the hair and stuff. It's just really fun to dissecting these pages is a lot of fun for me as an artist. This right here is awesome. Like I'm not even looking at this. I'm just looking at kind of what he did with this shoulder pad here. So things like that, things like that from an artist standpoint. Yeah. Um, and then the colorists did their work. They did not do any heavy lifting in this book by any means, but they did their job. It looks good. Good looking book. A little bit difficult to read, but good looking book nonetheless. Something here, I'm going to point this out. I usually don't care about this. This page has always bothered me. And the reason why, and they don't really explain it. Like I would have rather just that they kind of show that all guns shoot this way within this series. But she's got this Gatling device, and all these bullets are aimed the wrong direction. Like every single bullet running up this right here, they're all aimed backwards. And I've tried looking through other pages to see if like, oh, maybe they when they lock, load, and engage, they flip inside. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of like reasons why he drew them that way. So that might have just been like an artistic thing, like that we're all guilty of. You draw something wrong and you just like, oh, hopefully no one notices that, and you just kind of leave it. Yeah. So, anyways, that's the end of that. There. Yeah. If you're an artist, absolutely seek these out. Steampunk by Joe Kelly and Chris Bachalo with crazy fun inks by Richard Friend. Lots to